everybody, and welcome to PSF1 F3. My name is JB, and tonight I will be your guest commentator. And yes, this is my first time at this event, at this league, in fact, and I'm very, very pleased to be here. I feel privileged to have been selected to come and do commentary for you, and I'm feeling very, very happy that I was called up from spending my normal Sunday nights doing nothing apart from watching the Grand Prix to now commentating on a fantastic league such as its own here in PSF1. It's fantastic and I'm very pleased to be here. So if you don't know me, well, here's a little bit about me. I'm an absolute nutcase who spends all of his time yelling about racing cars on the internet. Honestly, about 3 out of 4 of the week. 6 out of 7 of the week. Trying to get the statistics right. 6 out of 7 times of the week I am off doing commentary for different leagues on the PlayStation. This is my first time here, and I'm feeling rather happy to see what everyone can do. So yes, there might be some names I don't know here. I know Racer and Fastbra, but I don't know the others, so do apologise if I get the names wrong. But this is David Wellbank, in the Ferrari. I don't know the championship order or anything else, so please do forgive my newbiness. I have just ran into the room to get ready to set up, but still, the Ferrari looking to be crowned pole position winner here in Brazil. This is the 3rd round out of 12 here in PSHE F3, and it's fantastic to be here. I'm really excited to see what these guys can do. So, first guy to settle up will be David, get the accent right, with David, then followed by the McLaren of James. So we'll see what the 866 car can do, as he comes through T1 and T2 to Senna S here, as Flyboy F joins us for tonight's race. I believe he'll be starting from the back. I don't know what car he's in though. So DRS opening on the Ferrari, looking very confident, and he's heading down towards the trickiest section on the track. In this corner right is okay, then heading up to the corner where we saw Lewis Hamilton lose his lap, but he has traffic ahead of him. This is the worst part of the track you could have traffic, especially coming into the middle sector. You really don't want that, especially with a Red Bull ahead of him. That's Shane the Boss. So Shane the Boss getting out of the way. The Boss actually blocking the Ferrari pretty heavily, so the Ferrari having to lift off. The Boss losing it a little bit as he gets out of the way. So David on the medium tyres looking very confident as he's running up towards the final couple of corners. A short track here at Brazil, but still, no matter if it's short, it's still really difficult. So let's see what David can do on his opening lap on the medium tyres, pushing as hard as he can. So a little bit of static noise coming from Flyboy F. I do apologise, I did not manage to mute any of the drivers first off logging into YouTube channel. So the initial lap tonight, a 1:09.9 for the Ferrari. What can the McLaren do with its Renault engine? Crossing the line at 1:12.3. Maybe he got caught up more behind the Red Bull. So let's have a look at. I'm trying to find a driver that's in the final sector. I believe Macron is in the final sector. Yes, he is. Macron. What can the Renault driver do? I'm sorry, I do not know many of the nationalities here, so I can't comment on nationality, so I'll just go for the French team's driver. Crossing the line up P1 though, on the super soft tyres, an equally good time, 2 seconds quicker than David's time on the medium tyres. Let's have a look at Lux. 044 Mark, so I'm assuming his name's Mark, but let's stick with Lux. Right, we have a Pokemon name, but the Williams driver coming through here. Only 12 drivers on the grid tonight, 13 if you include Fireboy, but he has to ask permission from the FIA if he is able to race tonight. So I do apologise, I just have to quickly take a drink. And that tasted horrendous, but you know. So what can Lux do on his medium tyres? A little bit of oversteer on the rear end as he slides his way through. What can he do? Oh, big moment there himself. So he's struggling on traction on these medium tyres. Obviously, start of a lap, the track's not really rubbered in, very green as the engineers would call it. But what can 66 Williams get up to? DRS opening now, taking the shorter line, not taking the shortcut line, the qualifying line, crossing the line, that is P2, quicker than everyone else on the medium tyres. That's Wombles. That's going to be the funnest thing to say tonight, I think. Wombles coming into Sector 2 now. Where's Lillian? In the middle of Sector 2. Lily Art, sorry. Do apologise there. So Lily with the I'm going to say copper and blue helmet, trying to get it all turned in the Alfa Romeo. Sector 2 and 3, we have yellow flags. I believe we're entering Sector 3 now, so we should see some of the yellow flags. I think it's just back to green flags now, so it must be a driver who either span or make contact with the wall. Yellow flags still in Sector 2. What can Lily do on these super soft tyres? Running up towards the line, crossing the line now. That's a 1:08.7, a good lap there for Lily in the Alfa Romeo Sauber. Probably can't remember. I honestly don't know what the what the admins of this league do with the names, so I'm going to stick with what I know and call it the Sauber. As David has actually left the session. That might be a lag out for the Ferrari driver. Let's see what Farfra can do. I know Farfra reasonably well. Actually, me and Farfra go way back. He gave me my first drive in his league back when he had a league. I don't know if he still runs it or anything. Back in 2016, and up into P9 is the English driver in the Italian car. Chaz in the Haas crossing the line. He stays at P11 because he's just starting his lap now on the medium tyres. 21 car, remnant of Esteban Gutierrez, who ran in the Haas with number 21. What can he get up to in this fine event here in Brazil? Do excuse me as I go silent for just a moment. Too much ginger cake while I was watching the Grand Prix. Now, running up and wide is the Haas, trying to keep it all on the track. He is doing a very good job. He's traffic ahead of him in the form of Farfra. Farfra getting way out of the way. Good job there by Farfra. Knowing they're getting told by the team. Getting told by the team, sorry. Unlike the Haas team do. Getting told by the Italian team to get out of the way for Chaz as he's coming through on his lap on the medium tyres. So what can Chaz do? He's looking very comfortable. No real sliding, unlike what we saw from trying to remember who it was. I think it was Macro. But Chaz looking very fun. Looking very funky with his blacked out helmet, wanting to push as hard as he can. Heading towards the end of the lap. DRS not active there, but it will be active in a moment there. So the Haas Ferrari getting pushed right to the ground. Crossing the line, it's a 1 minute 10.0. He puts in P8. That shows how confident and how competition-wise, how much competition there is in this series. Now looking at Racer 555. Good friend of mine, I know him very well. In the Alfa Romeo, DRS opening now on his. If we hear Flyboy pumps his mic crossing the line now, taking the qualifying line. That's the P4 for Racer into P4, matching his teammate on the harder compounded tyres as well. Matching-ish, getting close to his teammate. I think Lilliard is going to feel a bit uneasy seeing that. Let's go on with Sean. I believe that's Sean. Do apologise if I get it wrong. Getting way out of the way with their teammates. Larry. Larry's in there. I'm going to go with Larry. It's just a fun name to say. So do excuse me as I just have a drink quickly. So a little bit of traffic there for the McLaren Renault with the Red Bull Renault ahead of him. Sorry, the Tag Heuer Red Bull ahead of him. What can Larry do to get past it? Is the boss once more. The boss who's all the way down in P10. And this will give Larry a nice bit of tow off the Red Bull coming onto the straight, but it won't give him much of a So he isn't going to give him a tow. He's going to sit there and wait as he comes in through Young Chao. Is the Red Bull going to pit at the end of his lap? What can Sean Larry do? Sean bailing into pit lane, so catching him at the wrong time. 3 laps on those soft tyres, well and truly cooked for those wonderful yellow wall tyres. What's Shane doing? He's had a bad start to his lap due to having to wait for Sean to go through. Hitting the grass heavily, was able to control it, but number 6 car, no, he's way off now. Made a mistake and having to stop on track to stay away from any cars coming through. He looks to be okay, given the signal to get off and onto the track once more. Where's Wombles? Wombles coming up through Young Chao now on his lap, running on the grass. But what can the Ferrari do? Powering up the straight, can he get there? I think Dave is still left the session. I'm not sure if he has come back to the session. Lots of angry wheel turnings for Wombles. The number 12 car is going to come up, crossing the line now, and he goes P11. They're just pipping out Farfra on the fastest compound tyres, struggling a little bit to get the grip with this track. Where is James? He's on an in-lap by the Joseph the number 19 car. Let's have a look at Shane. Mr. The Boss is coming through across the midpoint now, running very high onto that curve there, almost touching the inside. This yellow flag ahead, I believe that's for James himself. So the spoke of another 6 Red Bull that's got to try and get through. Lots of rear end sliding there from him as he comes up and round, looking very happy with his car. I don't think he's restarted his lap by the sounds of it. Might be up and wide again, so struggling on traction from Shane. Weaving his tyres a little bit. I think he restarted his lap, so he's going to try and push on from now, see what he can do. Looks like Farfra's on the lap as well on the soft tyres as James has left the session. Not sure what's happening with drivers leaving the session. Skewing the grass a little bit with Shane there. Almost making a mistake. So here's Farfra in the Toro Rosso, the 99 car, trying to find his way up out of the last place into another position, preferably somewhere in single digits. Seven minutes of qualifying remains here in PSHEF3. James has rejoined, and right now I've seen no evidence of Dave rejoining. So it should be interesting to see what happens here. This is going to be fantastic. I'm very curious to see how all of these drivers will commit. It's very interesting. I'm very excited to see how such a small grid can produce such strong racing. Normally it can, and obviously by the looks of it, look at how close qualifying is. The gaps between everyone is very, very even. So we'll see what they can get up to as the race goes on. Here's Lily. What can Lily out 14 V5 get on with? Hopefully there's not a V5 engine in the back of that Alfa Romeo Sauber, but it looks like the Sauber looking very confident through the corners there. Number 15 car. Getting it round, slight slide there as he's being followed by the Haas. I believe it's on Chaz who's on an out lap. We know that Lily is on a lap now. What can they do? Up through Yongshao now, up onto the long straight, up into... Well, the straight isn't really straight up to the start-finish line. Are they going to take the qualifying line on the number 15 car? They're going to get very close to the pit wall, I believe, if they try. No, they're not going to the pit wall. There is damage, though. There's debris out there. So it looks like someone did try that a little bit too forcefully. And Lily Art just, I think, I don't know if they improved on the time. Yeah, improved on the time by 2 tenths. Looking at my little replay because I have my tablet open so I can see the chat. If anyone dares to comment, I'm going to be here to answer any questions. I can see the chat, don't worry. But now on with more with Chaz, the other driver that came through. But we're actually going to go up and look at the Williams of Lux to start his lap on the soft tyres. What can he do? Looking line now. Benchmark time is a 109.5. Krato, I believe that name is. Krato? I hope you know Krato. Hello, how are you doing? I'm afraid I can't answer as many questions as I normally would on commentary, knowing that knowing a lot more about the drivers. Here, I do not know many things about them, so I can often answer very limited questions about this track. Again, I haven't actually been in a league race around here, as I retired from league racing quite early into this game. But not down to any other reasons, down to the fact that I was called up to commentary to do a lot more of it. So no reasons on my behalf. I'm not that quick, I'm not that fast, but you know, I do love a bit of comms. And that's why I'm here tonight, because Racer 555 sat in P2 asked me very nicely. Once again, if you're new to this new voice, my name is JB and I'll be taking you through tonight's race here in PSF1 F3. Brilliant to be here. It really is. What can Znoid do? Or Knoid? Oh, that's going to be fun. Knod? I think you can stick with Knod. The Red Bull, what can the Red Bull do? Crossing the line here, goes up to P6. A good showing from him. Jumping to Williams and the McLaren. Womble's now in the Ferrari, trying to get it all set up, trying to get a feeling with those super soft tyres. He's struggling. I think, to be fair, Farfra is struggling just as much here in the Toro Rosso Honda. Maybe the Honda Power not the most fantastic round here as he tries to find a moment. He has invalidated his lap. He has another shot though. He has a few shots here as he's only got 4 minutes after qualifying. Let's have a look. Who should we have a look at? Let's have a look at Chaz. Chaz coming up through the final corner now. Going to stay tight to the pit wall. No, going to stay even tighter to the pit lane. So he's going to come into there. What is the boss doing? Mr. The Boss struggling with his car a little bit, fighting that Red Bull almost as much as Pierre Gasly is. DRS opens as he's pushing now to start his lap time. And we're going to look at James, who I think has just started his lap. We're going to try and stick with James in the McLaren Renault, sorry. Saying McLaren Honda all day, number 19 car. What can he do? Oh, James left the session, so we're on board with the Boss once more. So that's a lag out from James. That's truly unfortunate there. And Shane getting it all wrong as he gets up onto the crit lane. Oh, even wider there as he struggles to fight with that Red Bull. Not happy with that car whatsoever. Maybe that's setup issues. Where's Wombles as Farfra's into pit lane once more here in PSS1. Do excuse me. That was me breathing in twice. So number 12, Ferrari, what can he get up to tonight? He's currently sat in P11. Him and Farfra will have 3 tyre choice if he stays in that position. Coming in the qualifying, 2 minutes remain here as he starts his lap once more. Going to push as hard as he can. Womble's clearly on the controller with his wheel inputs. I know because I make them myself. DRS open. He's going to go up to it's P10. So he makes a move by 1. That's enough to get into the top 10. That's very good. But Shane is going to have something to say about that. He is 5 seconds down though, so he had a bad lap that time round, and he's going to try and get through and push hard again. James once again rejoining in the pit lane, so internet's hopefully not going to be an issue for him throughout the race. I just have to reposition myself a little bit in my commentary booth. Do excuse me. Got my headphones on charge as we're talking. So, what are we doing? This is the 12th season of PSF1, if you don't know. They started racing back in 2015, and I certainly... Oh, big accident there for Shane, getting it all wrong, running on the grass, and then he's trying to get the car back. That was not planned at all for the Red Bull. Down in P11, he's going to try and improve on this lap time again, but those tyres, to be fair, they won't be too badly done. They'll be a bit dusty tyre, bit of just on the rear, not happy on that Red Bull whatsoever. Farfra on an outlap. Let's have a look at Marco. Marco running the same helmet as Shane. Coleman has joined us now. Or Colin Man. Colin Man sounds good. Marco in the Renault trying to get... That's the best. Marco in the Renault trying to get through. Yellow flags ahead of him. I believe that's for Shane, who's struggling as they're going to run up now. 55 seconds remain of qualifying, coming towards the end of these laps. Remember, they're going to push as hard as they can, and there it is. The Red Bull stopped on track at the Marshall point. What's he doing? What can Marco do? Improving now. He does not improve. He's down by 2 tenths. Where's Racer? Racer's got a nice toe off Farfra. Maybe because he let him through. I think Racer made a mistake on his lap. As Marco retires in P1, Racer has one more lap in him. He's got the ERS. He's hit the curb just a little bit. Has the Alfa Romeo driver, and he's going to try. Oh, that's an invalidation. That's Racer's sharp pole position. I think gone. Yeah, there it is. Where's Lux? Lux having a torrid T1. So, where's Larry? Do excuse the coughing. Larry, the 26 car. Obviously, not Daniel Kvyat because he's not in the Toro Rosso. This is Larry in the McLaren Renault. Going to slice up through Yongzhou and power up along the curb. What can he do? Can he improve on P4? It's highly possible. The other guys have not set lap times. All he has to do is improve by a 10th, and he will beat Lux to P3. He's on the second row of the grid. He's going to make it to the first, though. He's got pole position right now. Where's Lilliard? Lilliard pushing as hard as they can. P5 right now, speeding very slow. That lap time is going to be abandoned by those bits. P30, yeah. Lilliard only managing to stay in P5. Where's Zoid? Farfra, P2, completing the front row. Shane in the pit lane. But I think, yeah, so our pole position driver tonight is Shane Larry in P1. As Lloyd is actually down on his lap time by 23 seconds. So there it is, our pole position driver. The best time of 107.666. The Devil's in the back of that car, and he's French. Not Shane Larry, the engine. You're welcome. So just give you a shot for Shane Larry to screenshot if you so wishes to. Now coming up through that would have been a nice picture if the AI had stayed down slow. But yes, so Shane Larry is on pole position tonight here in PSF1's race. The third round here in season 12 out of 12. So we're just waiting on Znoid, the Red Bull driver, or Canard. Canard? There he is there, finally being retired, and the Red Bull in the pit lane. P1 there for Sean Larry. What a good showing from the McLaren. Now we'll see what can happen in coming to race. They're going to ignore that. Here's the grid for tonight's race, plus a few other drivers that joined late. We have Sean Larry in P1 ahead of Farfra in P2, Marco in P3, the Irishman, looking good ahead of Racer in P4. Then there's Lux, in P5, and Lily in P6, the second Alfa Romeo. The Polish driver, Joyd, is in P7, and Chaz, the British driver, is in P8, James is in P9, and David is in P10, though I don't think he's rejoined the session. Wombles is in P11, and Shane Boss is in P12. These two will have free tyre choice come the start of the Grand Prix. So a little bit of music there actually coming from Flyboy. We shall attempt to take them out. I'm not sure if they got formation lap on in this event, so we shall see. Ooh. So as we're getting ready to go towards the race, once again, my name is JB. This is round 3 of season 12 out of 12. Round 3 out of 12 for season 12 here at PSF1 F3. Yeah, it's an honour to be invited here. How many times have I said that? I don't know, because, you know, that's me. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited to see what these drivers can do. The Portuguese driver in the Mercedes there, and I think we've got one down in the Racing Point, the German driver. Oh, and there's French driver too, I think. It might be Ocon. Not sure. I know we have Flyboy, Coloman. Yeah, Coloman. In that haven't qualified, and doesn't like we have Dave. So Dave unfortunately having to leave during qualifying and not returned. So as we head on to the formation lap here, let's run through the grid one more time, because Sean Larry is in P1 on the super soft tyres. He'll be leading us away, because in P2 is Farfra also on the super soft tyres. P3 is Marco, namesake Marco Andretti, I'm assuming, or maybe just his own name in P3 with the super soft tyres. And Racer 555, the name I know very well, is on the super soft tyres. Lux is in P5. He's the first driver on the alternate strategy with the soft tyres. And in P6, returning to normal with Liliart, is in P6 with the super soft tyres. Znoid, the Polish driver. Comments there from Wombles. I will attempt to mute them in a moment. Znoid, the Polish driver, in P7. Is on the harder soft tyres. Same with Chazmaster behind him on the soft tyres. Then becomes the longer runner drivers, with James in P9 with the medium tyres, and Dave should be here, but he's not here on the medium tyres. Outside the top 10 was Wombles in P11 with the super soft tyres, and then there's Shane Boss in P12 with the soft tyres. Flyboy, the driver who didn't qualify and has no setup on the car, is on the soft tyres, and Coleman brings up the end of the grid after being disqualified on the soft tyres. So I will endeavour to quickly mute these drivers. Do apologise for this. Just mute everyone as best I can. Quickly run through. That's just because I don't like to hear them as the race goes on, because that is I find it distracting for the stream. So I apologise for not doing that in advance. I was logging in a little bit early. So we're ready for 5 red lights here as the drivers all form up. A couple of drivers that will have cold tyres due to the lack of formation lap. Wombles being the bigger casualty. Same with Liliart. My first time taking you through a start procedure here in PSF1, and it should be really interesting. What can the F3 drivers do here in Brazil? Let's get ready for round 3. Here we go towards 5 red lights. The lights are going to come on in a moment. There are the lights. The lights are on. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here we go, the lights are out, and the drivers are away now. It's a good start from Farfra in P2. A better start in the background, though, as Liliart passes Lux straight off the line. But Sean defending into P1, a Racer into P3 already. As everyone starts through, but Racer going wide. He's going to lose out to his teammate Lily. Lily passing him. Flyboy already down into P11. But now Farfra on the attack, wanting to push into P1 ahead of Larry. Larry taking the outside line, trying to defend. What can he do? It's side by side. They do touch. They touch a little bit. The McLaren gets started up. Marco in P3. Lux losing another position. And it seems all change as every driver on the alternate strategy drops down 1 position to the super soft runners, barring what's his name, Wombles, who cannot get through the pack so far. He's taking it nice and gently, but there's all change. Flyboy battling with the McLaren, down in P11, battling for P12, and he hasn't made the move stick. Lux dropping a position to the Polish driver ahead of him as well, trying to find a way through. There is contact between Shane Boss and Lux. Shane Boss running to the back of him, and the gaps can only get interesting. I do apologise if I missed anything else in the race. There was only one of me, and I can only see so much. Now Liliart under pressure from her teammate. It's Fred Basir going to call up and say, get out of the way, Lily. Lily looks like she's going to hold out the outside line. But Farfra leads us away from P2, and Lilly has given up the time to Racer. So Racer slipping up the outside, we know what he can do. James and Flyboy passing as Shane, losing a position to the Force India of Coleman, and Lux losing another position to Zoid. So maybe contact later on. Gonna jump back up to Lilly. What can they do in the Alfa Romeo? Excuse me. No move yet, and now you see Lux going wide. Coleman on the attack. We're on the board with Shane the Boss. Round the outside goes Coleman. What a brilliant move there for the German driver. As Lux tries to go around the outside, it has happened. No, Lux losing a position, sorry, to Shane the Boss. And then James in the background lagging quite heavily. And carbon fiber flying off, and look at that, James is desinking quite heavily. What can he do? Lots of car lagging back quite heavily. So now we'll see what the Flyboy can do. Danny inside, aggressive move in there. Whoa, that car was in the wall, but is he really in the wall? No, he is really in the wall there. So James in the walls as they all go sliding through sector 3. That yellow flag is down to him. Now you'll see the other McLaren Renault pushing hard, trying to catch him, and Lux into pit lane. Maybe that's the damage. And a stop and go penalty for Lux himself for speeding in the pit lane. DRS has been enabled as Shane Boss gets a 3-second time penalty as well. 36 laps of racing to be completed here. We've already gone through 3 of them. So remember, David is not racing due to the fact that he lagged out in qualifying, or he left during qualifying, and the gaps are all pretty much calmed down now as the super soft runners start to run away with it, but Farfra not able to gap the drivers behind him as best he can. He's going to keep pushing as much as he can on his Toro Rosso Honda. Want to keep those tyres from scrubbing as much as he can, and now you're seeing that Sean Larry is going to try and get themselves closest to get up to the back of Farfra. James in pit lane, I'm not sure what happened there. I think he might have had a lag connection with Flyboy that has cost him a lot of time. But now the other McLaren Renault is starting to put pressure on the back of the Toro Rosso. But if anything, actually, he's dropping down from Marco. Sean is gaining positions. Marco fast enough track. Down the inside goes Sean on Farfra. Farfra trying to get the switch back. The Toro Rosso just can't make it through. And now the Renault, it's Renault sandwich here as you try and find what the Japanese powered Toro Rosso can do. Toro Rosso down, trying to go around the outside, trying to get squeezed out. We can't get a good camera. We'll go on board with Marco. Marco having to stop mid-corner, try and catch up to Farfra. Farfra, who seems to be much more confident in the final sector, in the middle sector, then Sean is going to try a little bit of an early breakage there, but it might have just been a little bit of a miscommunication between the McLaren and the Toro Rosso. Pardon me. So Farfra trying to edge his way past the McLaren. Lux getting a 3-second time penalty, adding towards his 5-second stop and go penalty. I believe that he might have to make 2 stops. Punches are likely here in Brazil. Who's got the better run though? Is it Marco or is it Farfra coming up into the start-finish straight? DRS will obviously be active on both cars. And a good double toe from Marco. We'll give him a hand. Marco looking to the inside. Marco trying to go back to the inside from a long time back. Biggie Benefit. No, that was not planned. Marco bumping his way through. Marco round. Renault towards the wall. And same with Farfra. Farfra sent round by the Renault. And back on track, taking out Lilly. Lilly Art will be furious. All forms of swear words will be coming out of that helmet because Farfra unceremoniously reversing onto track and not looking behind him, angrily trying to find his way back on track after collision with Marco. Seemed a bit of desync on my end, didn't see the full contact. But Farfra now dropping me to the Lilly. Her strategy is ruined on the super soft tyres. What a frustrating move. And down the inside goes Farfra. You shouldn't really be attacking like that. There's a very big body contact there, knocking the Alfa Romeo out of the way. Arguably that shouldn't be allowed, but I don't know the rules and stewarding in this league, so I do apologise. I'm coming rather unprepared for this event, but we'll see what Lilly can do in response. I assume all 3 of the drivers caught about an accident. Marco, Farfra and Lilly will pit at the end of this lap. Lilly getting passed by Coleman, the German driver. Once again, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink of my water. Now there's a gap of 2 seconds ahead of the race lead as Lilly pulls into pit lane. What can Alfa Romeo do behind it? You sort of would like it if Farfra got out behind Lilly, But we shall see indeed. Marco carrying on though. Marco choosing not to pit. Is there not damage? There is damage, and he's side by side absolutely guiding as Shane loses his rear end. Guiding a big contact from Flyboy. That hopefully was down to him losing the rear end. But we'll see who comes out first. It is actually Farfra by a margin ahead of Lily. So what can Lily do on chaseback? Lily's going to try and run their own race rather than try and fight with them. Now right at the back of it, I think Flyboy there sort of guided the Red Bull off track. Then there's contact in the background between the Red Bull and Marco. Heavy contact tonight here in PSF1. Not sure what is happening with Sony drivers. Maybe it's lag, maybe it's just a little bit of setup issues. No, they're very well behaved though. Down the inside goes Shane, trying to force a gap. You're not Daniel Ricciardo, mate, and that didn't work. Trying to scare Flyboy off. The Portuguese driver choosing not to make a move. I only know their nationality, sorry, because I saw their flags over the garage, Coleman and Flyboy. So Flyboy trying to go defensive as Shane starts closing in. This will be interestingly fun. Interestingly fun, that's a new statement for me. Trying to get up and round the outside. Will the Red Bull Tag Heuer get it right? He seems to have got it wrong. Not having, there's contact there. And Flyboy, big accident there. As Shane sort of guides Flyboy off the track. A more representative move there in touring cars rather than in Formula 1. But now we're going to go on board with Farfra as he starts to look at it. Starts to look at the back end of the Williams. What can he do? No, we're going to rejoin with Shane the boss. Shane's got his eye on Marco. Trying to find any form of movement as he gets through. Is there going to be a movement? Doesn't look like there is. If anything, he's under pressure now from Wombles. Wombles, who hasn't stopped the train, trying to stay out of his way. And, look at that Wombles seeing that if Shane had kept on that trajectory, he would have ended up hitting each other. So Wombles staying out of the way, not wanting to get into too many troubles on super soft tyres. What can this race entail? It'll be interesting to see what all of these races can do as the race goes on. Remember, only lap 8 out of 36 here. It's a long old race here in Brazil. Actually, we're going to go back on board as Farfra makes a mistake. Back on board with Wombles. Where can Wombles go? Wombles must have tried to make a move there because suddenly they're a long way back from Shane. And Shane looking very out of control in that Red Bull. Not looking to be... Shane needs to pit with that damage on his nose. Just has no control in that car. And I think Wombles can see it. Wombles might be swearing on the radio right now, trying to get his way through, but it's not happening. What can he do? Aggressive there from Shane. Is he going to try and go back up the inside? He is moving a little bit, and there is contact further back between Flyboy running to the back of the Ferrari. And I think Shane's causing more havoc than anyone else right now. Flyboy, as a consequence now of having damage, is struggling. Sector 2 and 3, we have a yellow flag. That's further around, so we will see that in a moment. And Shane, Sector 3, just a yellow flag. I think that's Zoid. We'll have a look. Yeah, Zoid looks like he was going slow. He must have had maybe a help round, I'm not sure. Flyboy F getting a time penalty. Let's go on board with Farfra. Farfra trying to find his way through on Lux. Having a look. What can he do? Zoid into pit lane. Is that for a broken front wing? They're all catching up to Flyboy as well. This is going to be a 3-car fight into T1, and we know what happens 3-car fight here into T1 in Brazil. It normally doesn't end very well for one driver. We'll see. So Lux trying to go around the outside of the Mercedes. And then, look at that. The Toro Rosso on the inside too. Is there contact? There is contact between the Toro Rosso and the Williams. They'll tap there as well as Farfra is sent over the curb, but he is through. Lux now without DRS. He's going to try and make a move up the inside. No, he decides better of it and stays right behind him. We're running out of water now. So Lux 3/10 behind. Farfra, these guys are absolutely aggressive as they're looking to find a way through. But Womble's slow. Something's wrong with the Ferrari. Whoa, into the back of him goes Lux. Where was Womble's throttle application? I think Lux is going to be yelling at that. What the hell is he doing? Nobody knows what Lux is going to be yelling. Farfra on the back, passing Shane. Shane wide. Shane is more of a danger car than a Red Bull there. The Red Bull has definitely got some red mist there as he tries to get his way through. I recommend that he pits now, sticks on the medium tyres and goes as long as he can. Is he going to? No, he does not. And this time Lux also with down front wing on the back of Wombles. The Wombles was in the pit lane. Now Lux going to try and go around the outside of the Red Bull. He does it very well, but where's the Red Bull? He's holding on the inside. There might be contact there. Oh, it's a little tap. And Shane sent wide. So Lily now on the back of Flyby, recovering after the incident with Farfra. DRS open on Lily's screen as she comes up around the outside, trying to find her way through, and the Portuguese driver having to lift off with a knackered front wing on that Mercedes. So Lily now trying to get through on Shane. This will be interesting. Shane seems to be very unpredictable in this race, and Lily, knowing that Shane was unpredictable, tries to slip it at the inside, and it has worked there. There's something really, like, Shane's driving style is very questionable. I wouldn't say it's, like, illegal as a steward. I'm not a steward. I have no idea what all of this is about. But, do excuse me. But the Red Bull seems to be struggling on his tyres, especially with that damaged front wing. You'd have thought by now he would have come into pit lane. He did damage it quite a while ago. It was pre-lap 8, and that was the last time I checked the lap counter. Now it's lap 11. Here's the Polish driver in P11 chasing after Flyby. I think Flyby will be ready into pit lane soon as well. There's Noid on the medium tyres. I do apologise once again if I get any of the names wrong. Oh, moving in the braking zone there, Flyby. Max Verstappen's move. I don't think the driver actually driving in Max's car is going to be happy about that as he runs over his front wing and absolutely disappears. But Flyby is going to come back in DRS open. Flyby using all of his ERS and then some. Try and catch up to the Red Bull ahead, but now Red Bull teammates are going to be the next two to get very close together. Do excuse me. Lily on the back, Lily making a big mistake. Lily clutching the car, well done. And the Red Bull teammates actually swapping positions for Christian Horner jumping in, saying get out of the way, Shane. And Shane another time penalty. That brings him up to a grand total of 9. So Lily doing a good job to keep hold of that car as they're going off track. So I'm getting messages all over the shop right now. Alright, so we're going to jump up to see what Lily's up to in their Alfa Romeo. Very close to the back of Lux. Excuse me for the silence just for a moment. Just resting my voice as we try and work out where we're going to go next. Lux getting a poorer exit. And now Lily on the back of the Williams. Alfa Romeo versus Williams. Who's going to check out the inside? Lux goes defensive early. And Lily not wanting to make their move yet. Knowing that they have to make the move. Stick well. This is going to be aggressive if they can go around the outside here. What can Lily do? Is he going to bail out the move? No, they do not. You're going to go side by side here. There's a little touch. What a brilliant move there from Lily. Absolutely phenomenal move. That might just be candidate for move of the day from JB. And what can I say? That was absolutely textbook. They did really well. Do apologise if I'm misgendering anyone. But yes, they all seem to be having great fun. So let's jump down to James, who's getting close to the back of Flyboy. So some drivers increasingly going fast, but we're going to actually look at... Oh, hold on. Flyboy's in trouble. We're going to look at Marco, but Flyboy getting very trouble blocking up for James so he doesn't touch the back of the Mercedes. Trying to find his way through. Just cannot, for the life of him, find 2 seconds to get through. DRS open on the McLaren. The McLaren draws alongside. He is ahead now. He's ahead comfortably. He's going to try it on Shane. No, he's going to try it. Oh, big lock up though. Where's Flyboy? Flyboy's even further off the track. And there's Marco. Marco hopefully going to come out ahead of Flyboy, which would save him a lot of time and passing one more car. It's going to be close to one exit. Here's Flyboy's angle. Comfortably ahead though, as our race leader from lap 1 pits after they passed. After there was an incident earlier on in the race with Farfra. But now, James down the inside of Shane the Boss. Shane the Boss getting moved down a position by the lagging McLaren. Here's the Red Bull here of Znoid. I really hope I can get that Noid right. Or Clonant. I cannot get it right. Just Znoid. I think that sounds cool. Noid. So Sean comes out in P3, so happy days there, and net P1 for you. We'll see exactly what happens. DRS Open on the Red Bull Renault, sliding its way through the air, trying to find its way past the Williams Mercedes. They'll sniff in the grass there as they're looking at passing each other soon. DRS opening once more on the Polish driver's car. Looking to emulate Robert Kubica. They're trying to get round the outside. It hasn't happened. Stop and go penalty. It's very slow on Apex there for Lux. But a stop and go penalty had indeed to the Mercedes applied by the only Mercedes on the field tonight who has suffered. Where's Marco? Marco making a move on Shane the Boss. Easily done. Let's go back up here because we're missing the move on Lux down the inside. Although Zoid, the Polish driver, trying to hold it as the Williams. You'd have thought arguably Zoid should have been in the Williams with the fact that Robert Kubica was in that car. But no, he's in the Red Bull. Down the inside goes Lux. Trying to defend, he's going to push the Red Bull a little bit wide. All fair is love of war as Chaz Master pulls into pit lane. Then the Polish driver losing it on the curve. And Mark is going to want to pounce soon, using all of the Williams' capabilities to get through. DRS open now for the Williams. The wing flicks open. Now he's going to try and find it. Moving a little bit there. It's Noid as he tries to go around the outside. He's going to skip the grass. The Williams seems okay though. Down the inside, stickiest nose in. It has happened. The Red Bull going wide. That has completely killed the momentum of the engine. And now it should be a pretty simple move. So no rear ending, nothing. And James once more leaving the session due to lag. Red Bull coming back at the Williams now. Trying to go around the outside. What a brilliant run there. For Zoid, the Polish driver, just making a move of Racer 555 pulls into pit lane with an 11-second gap. That will put him into P2. Marco getting a time penalty down in P9 after his earlier contact with Farfra. Trying to come back as Coleman pits the German driver who did not qualify. Remember, Flyboy and Coleman being on default setups. If they couldn't get the setup logged in, written in quickly enough. No, they're all on default setups. It's part Fenway is on, I believe it is. And now racing up towards the line. What can Lux do? Can he get back past Zoid? DRS open on the Williams, the 66 car, trying to get past the number 6 car, and Flyboy is out of the race in sector 1 and 2. We'll see that in a moment as these drivers come through. Excuse me, mistake, let's go on board with Lily. That's a big accident there. Mercedes is out, and surprise, there's no safety car. Excuse me, just having a drink there. We're going to go back on board with Lux in a moment, but actually we're going to jump at the fast, but have a look at someone different for a bit. Who's starting to close in on Chaz. Remember, Chaz has just pitted, so he's on fresh tires. He's waiting for those to temperature up, and then he'll be disappearing off into the sunset once more. Lap 16 out of 36 here, and our leader is Sean Larry in P1 ahead of Racer 555 in P2. Chaz Master is in P3, and Farfra is in P4. Lily Art is in P5, and Zoid is in P6. Lux is in P7, and Coleman is in P8. Farfra pulling into pit lane now. What can the Toro Rosso mechanics do? Marco is in P9, and James, who has left the station, is in P10. Shane DeBoss is in P11, and one was in P12. The only driver not to finish this race will be, right now, as Lux pulls into pit lane, is Flyboy in P13. Dave did not take the start. Or David, sorry, did not take the start. Oh, do excuse me if that picked up on the microphone. So, let's have a look at our race leader here. By 7 seconds on the medium tyres. They will not be stopping again. It's a way to go, though, on those tyres. It might be a little bit close to puncture territory. I've seen tyres go at 22, 23 laps on the count here in Brazil. Should be interesting to see what they can do. Cycle through it. Here's Racer 555. And here's Chaz Master, your final podium sitter in P3. They're definitely stopping again. Liliard is in P4 after getting caught up in a big incident at the end of the lap. The Funes Racer gets the fastest lap there. Getting caught in a big incident with Farfra as Farfra reversed on track that might be heading off to the stewards. And Snoid is in P5 chasing after Lily. Colin Mann is in P6 and Marco is in P7. Farfra, who was involved in that incident actually with Marco as well, is in P8. James is Ghost of James Fast is in P9, and Wombles is in P10. Lux is in P11 after stopping, and Shane Box, who also stopped, is in P12. There we go, the race dying down a little bit now as we all go on. You see exactly what everyone does. Let's go on board with the driver that's closing the most in, that's Coloman. The Force India driver chasing after the Polish driver. What can the German do as he gets up onto the curve, chasing after it? James pulls into pit lane, that is his Ghost. We'll see what the Ghost does. Coloman chasing, he's gaining time, yes, but I think Znoid is a little bit faster. Sorry, I stand corrected. Coloman's much faster due to him having younger tyres. I didn't see the age of the tyres. Racer 5.5, faster once more on track. Definitely going for a two-stop strategy. I believe it is. What can Coloman do? He's within 1 second. He will have DRS to come on for the main straight here at Interlagos. This track owned by Bernie Eccleston as DRS opens. This is a track where we've seen championships won and championships lost. Think back to Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel in 2012. Even further back to when Jenson Button won a championship here in 09, 10 years ago now. Good grief, I'm old. James now rejoins the session in P11. He will not be happy to his car pitted under his own steam, sorry. But now it's not under pressure from the Force India, taking him less than a lap to get closer than a second to him. Sector 3, we have a yellow flag. That might be down to James rejoining. No, it looks like it looks to be Wombles. No, it's not. Lux making a move. Wombles getting a time penalty. Who is that lag then? Was that? Lap 20. So 17 laps to run here in Interlagos, and we look at the 21 of the Force India. What can he do as he comes up through Young Shao? I do apologise for this. I look like he didn't pack enough water for this event. DRS opening on the back of Coloman's car as he comes up there. We're going to see the wing open there. We'll look back at the front. He just goes in. This will be a do or die move. Yellow flags back to no, still yellow flags. Someone's going slow. Looks to be an Alfa Romeo. Coloman with a time penalty as well. Is that Lily? They're saying they're closing in on Lily. Was Lily the one going slow? Was Lily struggling on their tyres? But now, down the inside goes Coloman, the German driver trying to make a move on the Polishman. The Polish driver not being able to defend much more to the fact that his tyres are so much older than the Force India's. But now Lily's starting to, I think, struggle with their tyres in P4. Yeah, definitely struggling. We go on board with Coloman once more. So you see them starting to chase up after the Alfa Romeo Sauber. As Shane the Boss retires in P12, second 2 and 3. We'll see that incident come up in a second. So the yellow flag should be waving in a second of the race. No safety car or anything. Looks like we passed it though. Oh, yeah, looks like we have passed it. So one Red Bull out, one Mercedes out, one Ferrari didn't even start the Grand Prix. As Coleman goes chasing after Lily. Sector 3, we have a yellow. That looks like Marco. So maybe Farfa returning the favour to Marco after the earlier collision at Q1 and 2. The sun is coming out here in Brazil. And it's not coming out on Zoid races. He has a mistake. Or James's, who lags out of the session once more. Excuse me, I have to mute my mic just 1 second. Excuse me there, just thought I'd cough off mic there, try and get some of it all shifted off my lungs. But it didn't do much damage. And now you see Coloman closing in on Lily. I think Lily will be pitting one of these 2 laps in a moment. The medium tyres are looking to be the stronger tyres at this point of the Grand Prix. I've got questions from lots of people saying that, asking if I'm streaming. I am streaming. If you are watching, that is me streaming on my own. Hello, if you don't know me, I am new to PSF1. My name is JB, and I'm your guest commentator tonight. I'll be taking you through all of this madness. Normally I sound a lot better than this, but my voice is absolutely destroyed, I have to say. I watched the Grand Prix myself. Coloman putting pressure on the back of Lily. This should be a pretty simple move. I think Lily's got to make that choice whether to pit sooner rather than later. Pressing a dangerous game as the Alfa Romeo team trying to let her carry on. And down the inside, will Conor Man go? Pretty simple move there. Lily just cannot get the traction down. Oh, and look at this. Look at the way that wheel is moving. Right up though, getting a better run on the inside. Whoa, Conor Man shifting up there, running over her front wing. Lily will not be happy about that. That could have ended in both of them retiring. I think Lily will have to pit one of the 2 laps. I think this lap, as Lux gets a time penalty and James rejoins. So now the pressure mounting on the back of the Alfa Romeo. What do? Do they pit her now? They pit her now. Lap 23 as Shane leads the session. Do they pit her now and try and get her to go for the fastest lap? Or no, she's carrying on. This is a very dangerous game because here comes the Red Bull, the Polish driver, trying to make a move. Trying to go anywhere they can round the outside. It just can't happen. Lily's got no power whatsoever in that car. The gap is... something's wrong in the final sector. Is that Lux? No, it wasn't. Here we go. Oh, it is Lux this time! Lux out of the Grand Prix! Big accident for Lux, and we caught that just on camera as Lily draws the position. Is that a safety car? No, it's not. Not even a virtual one. I mean, honestly, I know that Charlie Whiting sadly passed away, but you can at least release the safety car when it's needed. So Lux looked like he got a massive bout of oversteer, which has sent him spinning across the grass and into the wall. That's really unfortunate. So now all you have to do, guys, is finish the race and you will get a point. That sounds brilliant, doesn't it? Well, it's much harder than it sounds. Lap 24 out of 36. I know I've just been on board with Lily for the last couple of laps, but I'm really interested to see what they're going to do. Are they going to pit the number 15 car? They're going to bail into pit lane this lap. They have the gap of 3 seconds behind them. They will be faster towards the end of the race. They have ran both tyre compounds now. Their tyres will be getting dangerously close to blowing if they're not careful. Yellow flags behind them. I mean, that's down to Lux's damage. Hello Lux, yeah, we saw that, mate. Can you tell us what happens? And I'll read it out on stream, or, you know, if you'd rather not to. But, yeah, it's really unfortunate to see that incident there. We caught it just on stream as well. Looks like that comment might have been removed by the stream itself. Might have been banned from the channel, because I can't see it. I lost the car. He says, sorry, do apologise, just caught up. Lost the car, yeah. It looked really tough out there. Traction definitely seems to be a big issue here tonight, but let's just run through our race, the race positions right now, because in P1 it's Charles Larry at a race of 5.5 in P2. Charles Meister is in P3 and a Conor Man by 18 seconds in P4. Snoid is in P5 and Liliart is in P6. Barfra in P7 and Marco in P8. Womble's in P9 into pit lane, and then James is all the way down in P10. Just crossing now, he's going to actually beat the Ferrari out. But who should we have a look at? The gap's all pretty evenly spread out. Let's have a look at the Red Bull once more. Seeing a lot of Red Bull tonight in PSF1 F3. So 12 laps remain of this Grand Prix as they slice through, trying to find everything out. Lily does pit, so they're going to do 12 laps on the super soft tyres. That's ambitious there. P1 to potentially get P2. Oh! Okay, so everyone gets points anyway. That's a good way of keeping it cool. Yes, as I did mention at the top of the program, I'm very tough with knowing all of this. I don't know all of the rules with this league, but now it's going to be interesting to see what Lily can do. They're on these super soft tyres. They've got to stretch it out for 12 laps of the race. That is going to be difficult. It really is. Especially these tyres. I would have gone for the softer tyres. The soft tyres, not the super soft tyres. Brooker saying that he wanted to join PSF3 a while back. Oh, well, why didn't you? Is the question there. As Lily gets it a little bit wrong, squirting the power out a little bit too early on apex and heading towards the wall. Well, not the wall. Heading towards the curb. The gap coming down at the top, maybe the medium tyre starting to lose a little bit more power. Avery Racer's turned his car up just a little bit more to try and get closer to him. The gap is actually pretty consistent right now. 5.1, 5.2. Lily apparently is also going for the extra point. That'd be interesting. So you do run the fastest at that point in this league. Thank you for all the information you're giving me in chat. It's really difficult to get all of this. Sector 2 and 3 yellow flag. I'm not sure who that will be. Just sector 3 now. Doesn't look like any gaps are growing up. Oh, Brooke is saying that he did ask, but they said to get back to him, but the admins never really getting back to him. Oh, mate, it's okay. It happens a lot in league racing. I've had it a few times with different leagues. When I've asked to race and they said, oh yeah, I'll get back to you next season, or I'll get back to you in a few days. Never did. It's easily done. But now, Lily on the attack, trying to get past Marco, trying to get that extra point. It's going to be pretty simple. Zori comes to the pit lane as well. He's going to try as well. Marco struggling on traction there now. A pretty simple move for the Alfa Romeo Sauber, just slicing up around the inside. And the Renault got no answer to him. No, it does. The Renault doesn't answer because the Renault got DRS. Going to pass him. Lily is the fastest person on track right now. But there's a little bit of contact down the inside. Remember, Lily got caught up in the distance between Marco and Barker. So Marco will not be high on Lily's friends list right now. Little bit of contact. Now Zoe's going to come to play as well. What can the Polish driver bring to the event? Down the inside goes Lily on. Off the Polish driver. There is contact. And he has made bigger contact. Shoving the Red Bull off after cutting the corner. Trying to make his move stick on Marco. And I get a bit of lag, and Lily just losing the position to Marco once more. And now Noise is going to go around the outside. Where's Lily gone? Lily dropping a few positions back, maybe letting him through. Excuse me if I'm missing things in the chat. That's just down to the fact that I'm having to take moments to breathe and moments to look at what's happening and absorb what's happening on the stream. And now Noise is going to go chasing after Marco. So hold on, you're gonna push my friend here off, and now we're gonna come back and fight you. Now 28 to the 36 here in Interlagos, and now you're gonna see the real fight begin between Zenoid and Marco. Marco getting a little bit wrong. Sean Larry lagging out of the session, has that handed the race to Racer. Down the inside goes Zenoid though. He has made the move stick. Where's Marco? Marco almost making contact, almost having him run over each other's front wing. Now Lily will have the run on the Renault, but the Renault will have DRS. So what will happen? Zenoid going to the inside defensively, going around the outside. Number 6 is trying to pass number 88. Big Robert Kubica fan by the looks of it there. And Lily having to hold her a line as Marco's weaving across the track, trying to find any form of traction. James is leaving the session in P9. A stop and go penalty for Chaz Master for speeding into the pit lane. As Zenoid, the Polish driver, the 88 car. No, it's not Robert Kubica. It is Zenoid himself. Down the inside goes Marco trying to cover the defence. But James is now the fastest man on track. Wow, that's a lap time there of 47.8. No 1 minute, just a 47.8. That is down. That's almost as good as a 1 minute 9 around Silverstone, but I saw a few years back. Now DRS opening once more on the Alfa Romeo. The Renault moving around a lot. The Alfa Romeo tries to find a move on Marco. What can Marco do? That's a terrible camera angle. Around the outside, attempting now around the outside of Marco. Don't touch the inside. Marco has gone wide. Lily is through. Now it's whoever gets the traction. Oh, touching tyres there on board with the Renault. DRS open on the Alfa Romeo. That's the thing that's saving them right now. Struggling on traction. Down the inside goes Marco. Has he broken himself? No, he hasn't. Did a brilliant job there, trying to defend. But Lily back on the outside. We've seen them make this move before, trying to go around the outside. Lily has done it before in the race. This time bails out of it. Doesn't trust Marco. Such an intense battle, and yes, there are battles for P3 going on in the race, but we're going to have to stick with the closest battle on stream. And that right now is Lily versus Vic. No, it's not. Chaz trying to go around the outside. Whoa, lucky we joined it here, because Chaz is trying to go around the outside of Coleman. Coloban, sorry. Coloban losing the position, squeezing into the white line. Round the outside, they lost contact, but let's say Chaz losing a position. Now they're going to run back down into turn 4 and see what they can do. DRS open on Chaz Martin's car, down the inside and trying to bait Coleman out of the move. Run on the back of him, he's on fresher tyres. Coleman is going to have to give out the position at this point, but Chaz has made a big mistake. That's a fatal mistake, and now Shane Larry has rejoined. Sean Larry, sorry, has rejoined, and now Lily pushing her hardest, trying to get around the outside of the Renault. It hasn't happened, and Sean once again leaving the session. Lots of mistakes there, and Marco slow on exit there, the corner. Oh, and the run, and it's gone! Lily is out of the session, and I'll just rip my voice up a lot more. Colin losing position to Farfra, and I think Lily is going to be heartbroken in that race. Driving so well, it seemed that they were squeezed around there. What a disappointing end to Lily's Grand Prix. But our race leader right now is racer 555 with 6 laps of the race to go. After Sean disconnected, reconnected, and disconnected again, and just stayed disconnected, might even lose P2 at this race. Whereas Chaz hunting down, the gap will start to come down heavily as the AI drives much slower than the driver. Following Farfra in P4, he's going to go chasing after Chaz as best he can. He's still in the stiffer podium right now. Chaz, as we've seen this race, pretty prone to accidents. Racer with a full pit stop above everyone else pulls into pit lane. You hear the Alfa Romeo belting his power there as he heads towards the box. What can he do? One back, passing through James. James losing a position there. Now, Sean Lowry has rejoined. 18 seconds though. He's not back in the car. Sean Lowry is not in the car as of yet. What is Sean waiting for? The gas will be close on release. Racer is ahead. And Lily leaving the session very angry. And I believe that they will be upset after this event. Shane Lowry once again leaving the session. Maybe struggling to get back into the car. Trying to get the reconnection procedure isn't really happening right now. A racer in a dream position right now can go for fastest lap, so it won't show up. It will be faster than anything that I think Sean Lowry did. Sorry, with the 47-second lap around here. Not long in this Grand Prix at all. We got 5 laps remaining. They're going to keep going. He's going to change into 4. Hold on, there's Womble's lost a position to a Ghost. Womble's has lost a position to a Ghost, so maybe Womble's making a mistake there as James is being ghosted. Womble's struggling, breaking into corners there. We're going to have a look. Who are we going to have a look at? Who do you want to look at? Let's have a look at Farfra. He is dropping back from Chaz. That is to be expected. Chaz, 7 seconds away from Sean ahead, and I don't think that gap is going to change much as the race goes on. Might change due to the fact that Sean is actually a Ghost. Let's have a look. Yeah, for the Ghost. So yes, Racer going to go for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as best he can. But a 1 minute, less than a minute lap round here is pretty much impossible unless you straight line most of the course. So we'll see what the leader can do with 4 laps to go in this race. What can they do? I'm not sure if you want podium interviews in this race. Should be interesting to see if you would like them. So we'll also see. So, dying embers of this race as Chaz makes his move through the Ghost of Larry's past. And Chaz will come into P3 here at here in Interlagos with less than 5 laps to go in the Grand Prix. Less than 3 laps to go in the Grand Prix. Everyone pushing hard, and now you see Racer trying to get faster than the 86 car. Not going to happen because of the lag lap that gave Sean Larry the lap time. Ooh, corner cut there. It'll be interesting to see how many drivers get moved around due to penalties. Farfra on the hunt, trying to get into P3. Farfra will be very happy with P3 after this race, after making contact with Marco, and then making contact again, further contact with Lily Art, which sort of destroyed Lily's race. We shall see. I guess, I don't know what the stewards are like in this league. I don't know if they're going to take any stewards investigations. Should be interesting to see. Hello again, Brooker. How are you doing? So Wombles has been lapped now, and Racer 555 with a penalty. Wombles has been lapped by, I'm not sure who he's been lapped by. I think it's Racer. Let's see what Racer is in track. No, it's not. He's one lap down, but I think this is a visual glitch. Do apologise for that. 3 seconds is the gap though, and it's going to be interesting to see what everyone can do. So we're on to the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Because there's no real battles, we're actually going to follow Race around. And he started in P3 of the Grand Prix, I believe. And we're going to actually look at the movers and shakers of the Grand Prix. Because there it is. Race started he started P4 by the looks of it. And lots of drivers. But Chaz, the big mover though, moving 6 places up from qualifying position. Even more. Obviously, some drivers 1 stopping, some drivers 2 stopping this Grand Prix. The gap's coming down around there. Colin Man might be the one to make a move in a minute on Sean Larry through the Ghost. Oh, absolutely grand. There it is, through the Ghost of Larry's past. McLaren losing positions here. It's going to be a ghosted finish. I'm not sure if they'll gain points due to it, because they didn't complete race distance. Wombles dropping back from Marco. So now on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. What a race this has been. 12 drivers, definitely making it entertaining in qualifying, then even better in the race. Though we're going to end up with only 7 drivers on track actually finishing, a few drivers being ghosted. But Racer demanding this race after he got into P1 after Sean lagged out, and Racer's going to absolutely go for it. Knowing that Racer's got a big lead ahead of him, he might even do some donuts for us. No, I very much doubt that, to be completely honest. Coming through, what can Racer do? Final couple of laps of the race. Final lap in general. Coming up through Young Shell for the final time here. Racer going to be victorious in round 3 of the PSF1 F3 division here at Interlagos. Round 3 of 12. And Racer lifting off. Alfa Romeo victorious here. Look at the weaving there. And Racer crossing the line to win here in Interlagos, as I forget how to speak for just one fleeting moment. Chaz will come home in second. What a run for the Haas driver. Movers and shakers finishing in 6 places above where he qualifies. And then Farfra in P3. Snoid will come home in P5 behind Colin Man. But there is our winner in the Alfa Romeo. Turn off the grid, because there he is. Racer will be exceedingly happy with this event. 43 minutes that race took, and there's the damage of his teammates. There it is, movers and shakers. What about Lux leaving the session? We'll get the final points pay position. Obviously, this is barring any stewards reviews, if there are stewards reviews in this race. But there he is. P1 Racer 555 wins in Interlagos. On to the podium now, Racer ahead of Chaz, ahead of Farfra. Champagne flows as Alfa Romeo are victorious. 2 Ferrari power cars and a Honda up on the grid. Italian, American. So here are the final results. Barring any stewards investigations, we have Racer 555 in P1 ahead of Chaz Master in P2, Farfra in P3, Colin Mans in P4, Sean Larry in P5, Doe was ghosted, Zenoidas in P6, and Marco in P7. James also ghosted, but it was in P8, and Wombles, the final finisher, in P9. Out of the race and did not finish were Lily, Lux, Shane, and Flyboy. Unfortunately, did not manage to complete the Grand Prix. What a thrilling Grand Prix, and what a way for me to say hello to PSF1, though I'm not sure whether I shall be continuing here. We shall see what the admins do, what they think of my commentary here in PSF1, and see if they get back to me. But it has been thoroughly enjoyable. I really have enjoyed being here and having a nice bit of fun. It's a nice way to have my weekend end in a way, but my weekend's not done, as I'm going to be off doing my own little race in where are we now? In about 40 minutes. So I hope you've really enjoyed my commentary. I hope that I have made this race enjoyable, as enjoyable as it can be here at PSF1 F3. My name is JB. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the future. Ta-ra, guys.